In 1978, Chevrolet released their new downsized version of the El Camino. It went from a full-size car to their new G-body platform. In response to this, the Ford Motor Company decided that in 1979, they would nix their Ranchero line altogether. No longer would Ford make a car that had a pickup bed in the back. At least that's what most people think. In fact, there were actually 212 cars still produced in 1979, 80, and 81 that still had pickup beds in the back. And that car was the Ford Durango. And we found one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Junkyard Digs. I'm your host, Kevin, and this is our co-host, Junkyard Mook. Today you join us somewhere in Missouri in a garage that holds two specific vehicles in it, both very unique and both in very good shape. But we're not here for this nice, sporty, bright yellow Volvo. No. We're here for this. This, like I mentioned earlier, is a 1981 Ford Durango. This is one of approximately 212 known to exist at time of production. If I had to guess now, that number is much lower. If you're familiar with Fords of the early 80s, you will recognize this as a Ford Fairmont Futura. These cars came with an inline 6, a 3.3 liter thrifty 6, as the only engine option, followed by a 3-speed automatic transmission. But back here is where all the fun starts. Like I said, 212 of these cars were converted by National Coachworks into the Ford Durango, a Fairmont Futura with a pickup bed. In the rear, we have a fiberglass tub that leads into a back wall panel there, and then of course a rear windshield. All 212 of these that were produced and released to the public were technically prototypes. Ford did plan at the time to go into production of these cars, but didn't because the man who created them, Jim Stephenson, died of a heart attack before that time ever came. With that being said, these cars did have a lot of hastily modifications done, such as the quote-unquote tailgate. If you'll notice, it holds all of the rear lights and license plates. So there was literally literature that came with this car saying, hey, don't drive with the tailgate down, you might get pulled over. This particular Durango has been sitting here since about 2013. It's up on blocks. We know nothing of the mechanical condition of this car. We just threw a bunch of tools and a battery in the truck and hit the road 5.5 hours down to where this sits. And our goal now is to get this thing back on the road and drive all 369 miles back home. Let's see if we can do it. Yeah! Alright, Mook, let's take a more non-formal look into this thing and see what we got. So like I said, underneath here we have what you would find in a 1981 Ford Futura. The 3.3 liter thrifty 6. This was a absolute smog motor, economy motor. These were at the height of the gas crisis and smog era in the late 70s and early 80s. So it would make sense that this is pretty much all we're going to find in here. You could get a Fairmont or Futura with a V8 in 1979 and 80 and 81. 79 would have been a 302, 80 would have been a 255, and I think 81 would have been the leftover 255s. Don't quote me there. They were a weird, de-stroked, horrible smog, small block Ford. So keep that in mind if you're ever buying an 80s Ford. Try to look out for that pile of junk. We actually had one in a video. It was that Thunderbird we did a while back. Looking around here, we have ourselves a super clean car. A little bit of oil up here, which shows that it has been on the road. I don't know how many miles this thing has. Oh, wow. It's got 87,000 miles on it. They drove this car. It used to be, what would you call that, Mook?
Like a blue-gray.
A blue-gray, and now it is Ford Racing Performance white and blue with a custom paint job. Everything looks to be completely stock, like absolutely 100% still here, except for those battery cables, which is immediately going to be a problem because I didn't bring a side post. Moving around to the interior, looks like, I'm going to say this is custom interior. We have ourselves blue carpet and white dash and everything else. Custom steering wheel cover, seat covers, everything's kind of themed to the blue and white. It was not properly painted. It was not door jammed. Damn it. Oh, there it is. Do not operate vehicle when tailgate is down. How cool is that? Oh, and here's the other one. This vehicle is altered by National Coach Products, 1981. May of 1981. Passenger car altered to truck VIN. Blah, blah, blah. Serial number 90,020. If there's any Durango fans out there, I'm sure they might know what that means. Well, Mook, what do you say we get some tools down here, see if this thing still spins and wants to come back to life?
Yeah.
That's going to be us here in a little while, trying to get out of this with the super loose rock.
It's a steep little hill, too.
It is a hell of a little hill. I can't believe that thing did it.
Yeah.
Got good oil. Good level to it. Smells okay. Here's a big one. Are we going to be here for 1 day or 3 days, Mook? We didn't bring a trailer, so. Ooh. What in the hell? I've never seen that before.
Looks gooey.
There's still fluid in it. Well, there's wet down in the thing. Let's see if our motor spins. Can I reach a belt at all? Yep, it's free. Okay, I'm gonna get the booster pack. Let's put some power to this and see if she wings over. Literature. We got a battery hooked up, but this is more important. Look at the super vintage Bronco and Mustang right there. Still got a warranty. Surprised they haven't called me to ask to extend it already. Oh man, there's a bunch of literature in here. We're gonna have to get into this, but we'll wait. Oh, this is important though. Here's a receipt for some work that was done. McCool paint job. Oh no! It was painted in 07. You know what? For a McCool paint job, that held up pretty well. Ready, Mook?
Ready.
Alright, she cranks. Good. Let's make sure our carburetor and everything doesn't have any mice in it. There are a bunch of mouse droppings inside the car. Oh my lord, look at that. That might be the smallest factory carburetor I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh.
Get our PCV out of the way. Act like I care about saving all this, as if I'm not going to take this home and immediately stuff a 302 and a 5-speed in and out of a Fox body. Because this is essentially a Fox body. If you don't know, these towers and everything, the chassis, this whole car, the Fairmont, the Futura, the Fox, the Thunderbird, they're all the same Fox body chassis. I mean, I'd be dumb not to take this awesome, badass looking car home and immediately stuff a 5-liter and 5-speed in it. Either way, here is the world's smallest carburetor. I could pretty much plug it with my thumb. So we know she spins. We know our carb moves. Good thing I took the air cleaner off because, believe it or not, huge mouse nest in there. Let's see if we've got Spark 1981. It's probably Duraspark.
It
Yep.
is right there.
There's our box. All right, Mook, you ready?
Yep.
Got
Spark.
I'm gonna take that as it has Spark. Well, we got Spark. I imagined it did because there's Duraspark on it. Next time we use a screwdriver, what do you say? You look at me like you're gonna stab me.
I'm very mad at you right now.
What?
You lied
Should
to
have held
me.
it back further. I don't know.
I did.
Nah.
I got shocked through the boot.
All right, we've got Spark. We've got rotation. Last thing we need is fuel. I'm gonna disconnect our fuel line so that if it is working, we don't pump some potentially really bad gas into our carb here and gum everything up. All right, let me find a container, and then we'll get some brake clean and see if this thing pops off. Oh. All right. You ready, Mook?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Well, I know for a fact that it's Spark.
Yeah. Just because Duraspark systems are weird, let me hit it from the key. Their power sources are different. Sure as shit. Nope, never mind. Okay. Just wanted more brake clean. Looks like a wire was eaten off by the mice in the voltage regulator. Keep that in mind. There's also some housing wire ties in here for like house indoor electrical, so that's fun. Okay, here's what I'm seeing. As soon as I let off the key for cranking, the engine shuts off. On these Ford starter solenoids, you have two legs on front. This one here is your signal to close the solenoid. And these two are outputs. This is output to the starter. This is 12-volt override for the ignition. The reason that exists is because when you crank, you have a voltage loss from the starter running. And your coil, which usually runs on 9 volts, will now have like 7. And it's not enough to make a healthy spark and fire up all the time. So you feed that 12 directly from right here on the solenoid. Let's do some playing around, because what I think is happening is I'm letting off and I don't have spark anymore. I only have spark when I'm cranking. So something in the regular feed system for the coil is not working properly. Let's get the multimeter and check it out. Okay, let me turn our key on. Do we have power to the coil? Okay, let me give this these contacts a little wiggle here. Yeah, no, they're nice and corrody. A lot of these 80s Fords don't have studs and nuts like you would see on most aftermarket or older coils, but rather this big clip that grasps the top of the coil and then slides onto these contact pins, but they allow a lot of corrosion to get in there. So if I give that a wiggle, yeah, now we're consistently seeing 3 volts dropping to 0. That's better. What the hell? What's going on here? Mook, do you want to be a deer and crank it for me?
As long as I don't get shocked again.
I can't promise anything, apparently. Try it again. Again. There we go. There we go. This one's a ton of fuel. I mean, a ton of fuel to run. Well, let's keep playing with it. See if we can get some fuel up here. Tell you what, the old whatever's in the tank doesn't smell good. I'll throw a couple gallons in and we'll see if our pump picks it up and starts working. There's totally the chance the pump's bad too. Or the lines, or the tank, or the pickup, or a lot of stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, Mook, looks like we have a newer fuel pump on here. Definitely not an original OEM unit. Oh, that's awful.
Are there backups out?
This is what's left of it. You want to crank her again? Let's see if we can get some gas moving.
Okay.
Go for it. Go for it again. We are not picking up fuel. Let's look into our fuel pump a little bit, see if he's working, or if he just needs maybe a little bit of WD-40 sprayed in and get the diaphragm wet again. Okay, so we've set up a quote-unquote temporary tank. We've got an oil jug there I found in the back of the truck with about yay much gas in it. It's plumbed to the suction side of the pump, and I've still got our tank over here to catch anything that does come out. We're just seeing right now if the pump works. I got the throttle to go close, by the way. Alright, let's see what that does.
It's a nice hammer, Kevin.
Thanks. Go ahead. Oh. 1, it cranked. 2, the fuel pump works. Try it again. Crank her for a bit. Let's see if it pumps through. Oh, there's a little bit of fuel. We got a little bit of something coming out over here. Come on. Not this again. Why? Why are you like this to me? Do you not want to live? I know it's something. See that? That big black spot right there?
Ooh.
And see this giant rust puddle we're sitting in? That tank is a goner. Looks like Mook tonight might be a search for a boat tank. And then, 400 miles home, 5 gallons at a time.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it's gonna suck. Or maybe I'll get really good at having 2 of those tanks next to me and I'll just transfer from tank to tank halfway. It's not the worst idea I've ever had.
No.
We do have a few vacuum leaks we gotta find yet, but it's running. It's alive! Clean the carb out quick. Yeah, so it doesn't have any gauges except for a speedometer and a fuel gauge. That's it. Well, I think that's good for day one. Sun's going down. We're going to pick up our stuff. We'll be back tomorrow morning with hopefully an alternative fuel tank solution and whatever else we need to get this sucker on the road and start heading home. We'll see you then. While getting parts the next morning, something across from the O'Reilly's parking lot caught my eye. Why is this here? It's at a grocery store in the middle of, I don't even know where. It's the truck. There's an engine in it and everything. What the hell? What is happening? Well, Mook, I'll tell you what. I didn't know this till now, but it appears we're in Pacific, Missouri, the home of Bigfoot. That is literally one of the Bigfoot trucks. And there's a capital one.
That's so cool.
And there's Mook.
Hi.
Seeing that this was a complete accidental opportunity for us, we decided to stop by their shop and check out the Bigfoot trucks themselves. These trucks were crazy, and it's such a neat piece of history to see in person. Big thanks to the guy at the front desk who gave us a quick tour and told us exactly what we were looking at.
Bigfoot number 1.
This is the number one?
That's the original monster truck right there. This
Holy
one that started
shit.
everything back in 1975.
Oh my god. We've met notable people before, but this is different. This feels entirely different. And then these are still current trucks today.
Yeah, so this one here is actually Bigfoot number 15. It's our second oldest competing truck that we still have today. And behind us here we have Bigfoot 14, which is actually our oldest competing truck that we have. This is the one that did all of our world record stunts from our jet plane jump. Pretty much anything that Dan Runte ever did in a truck was done in this truck here.
Holy cow. We were walking through history right now.
Oh yeah.
Holy, it's still got the dash and everything. I love it.
Oh, that's so cool.
So this was Bigfoot number 8. This
8.
was the truck that really changed the entire industry.
How many are still around?
So we still have 10 that we own, 5 we compete with. The other 5 we can do car crushing displays.
They're all still around.
Yep.
Oh my god.
So
20 Bigfoots.
We've sold off a bunch of them throughout the years. Luckily for us, a bunch of really hardcore collectors have now bought all these trucks, and they're restoring them.
Okay.
And they're doing it on their own dime, which is awesome. So not only have these people saved up their entire life savings to buy a Bigfoot truck, now they're putting more into it to restore them back to what was their favorite era. So it's kind of cool for us to have all these private collectors out there owning our trucks and doing them justice, restoring them.
Yeah.
A little bit different than a modern day truck. We run a full cantilever setup on it.
Whoa.
So having the silver shock bodies on it, you can see everything a lot easier. Really appreciate the suspension technology from back in the day.
So the one we saw sitting over at the grocery store, is that the original giant tire truck?
Yeah, so that's Bigfoot number 5. We specifically built that truck for the 10-foot tires. Back in the day, we had 10-foot tires on Bigfoot 1, 2, 3, and 4. and we never really liked the look of it or the functionality. So when we built Bigfoot 5, we did the double stack frame. We have 2 transfer cases that are chain driven, so it's a pretty wild thing. It's definitely a one-of-a-kind thing. I mean, we did build Bigfoot 7 into a clone of it.
Okay.
And we sold that to Race Rock down in Orlando.
It still runs and drives and moves around?
We don't do too much with it anymore. We do a lot of stuff with Summit. We're actually going to be taking it up to Detroit for the auto show in September, so it's going to be out there for about 2 weeks.
Okay, so it hasn't been sitting long then.
Yeah, we take it out and we do displays. We don't really run it or compete with it like we used to.
Yeah,
I mean, those tires, you can't put a price on them. You can still find them up in Alaska and stuff in the land trains.
Oh, those aren't custom-made tires.
Those came off of the Army land train they built when they were doing all the stuff with the Yukon back in the day.
Oh, okay. I always thought that was custom built for the truck.
Nope. They're pretty cool for what they are. They're full natural rubber, so they kind of take their time deteriorating, but they hold up really nice for what they are.
Well, sweet. Well, Mook, that was really freaking cool.
It was.
These guys actually have a YouTube channel, Bigfoot 4x4. They post vintage content of these trucks running back in the day and probably a few modern updates here and there. Go check them out. As for us, we need to go find some fuel line and a tank. All right, we've made it here this morning. We've been working a little bit. Mook has replaced our random eyelet terminals with actual battery terminals, so that's good. For once ever, we have paint on a car, so I didn't want to damage any of it by running a hose over the roof or anything. So I put the fuel tank inside next to me where I can watch it run out. Let's see if this sucker runs today. Got a hog-ass ham.
There's the says ham.
Oh, there's the says ham. So it's lean. If I would have added fuel just there and it got worse, it'd be too rich. But since I added it and it's smoothed out, it's too lean. Probably a bunch of vacuum leaks. I wonder if our alternator works. Hey, it does. I've got no brake pedal, so looks like that's our next thing to figure out. Damn it. Oh. Yeah, that's turn rotors level bad.
Nothing.
Nothing. If I had to guess, the seals are completely shot in that master.
Oh, yep. Front reservoir.
Maybe.
I haven't seen anything in the rear.
Well, let's start at the master. We'll loosen that up and see if we can get it to let some fluid out and see if our master's even any good or if we're starting at the top and working our way down. Looks like today's brake day. Also, the last oil change was in 2008. This is registration for 2012. So it looks like 2012-13 was the last time it would have been on the road. Does the horn work? Wait. Oh, that's right. You got to push the blinker indicator for the horn. Good purchase.
That's amazing.
Let's start working on brakes. Down. Okay.
Pull back up.
I got fluid out the rears here. So surprisingly, our master cylinder appears to be working. Time to start bleeding at the wheels. Even after pumping on our brakes for a half hour, we were still unable to get any fluid to the rear wheel cylinders. Okay, so going off a trick I've learned in the past, if you have a steady drip like this, that means all your lines in front of this point are good and clear. If you do not have a steady drip, that means you got a bad line somewhere, usually a bad rubber line. So if you ever change... Oh, that went right in my eye. We can't get anything to flow beyond this rubber line, so this line's full of junk. I'm going to cap this off without getting it going in my eye this time. And then we will change this rubber line, hopefully, and we'll have rear brakes. Okay. Ugh. There's our brake line. It's completely plugged up full of crap, so that is definitely our problem. Yeah, that sucker's completely seized up with junk. Alright, Mook, to the O'Reilly's online catalog. Surprisingly, O'Reilly's actually has that hose. Not in stock. It'll be there at 10:30 tomorrow. Oh yeah, meet Whiskers.
You have a friend.
Are you my parts ordering buddy? Go get these. Go get him. Let's see if we got any fluid up front or if we need to order some new soft lines. Down. we can at least maybe get the fronts to work. I got the rears capped off. Up. Down.
Down.
If they don't, I place an order at O'Reilly's. We'll have all new lines, new master cylinder, new wheel cylinders, and new rear line all showing up tomorrow at 10:30. Up. Down.
Down.
Yeah, that's better. Up. Down.
Down.
Look at all them bubbles. Up. Let's see if we have anything. Up. Down. Oh. Ooh, those are brakes. Okay. Sweet. Let's put the tires back on. Maybe pull this thing outside and give it a bath. Alright, for the first time in a long time, the Durango is back on the ground. I really hope it's been a long time, because if it wasn't, the tires are going to be really bad. But seeing that it was up on jack stands, hopefully these tires did not get flat spots and we have a nice smooth ride home.
Welcome back to Earth.
What do you say we see if this thing drives out of here and go give it a bath?
Yeah. Oh, you did a burnout. Is it the back tire?
I guess I assumed this was a burnout.
Oh.
That's a drag mark. Yay, Siege drum brakes, my favorite. Oh god. Little baby brakes on a little baby rear axle. Come on. Okay. Drums off. We had a spring break here and fall off a stud. I got it just kind of sitting in there for now. But as you can see, it's not an axle issue. Looks like they were just rushed to the drum. Alongside that, surprisingly, our star wheel down here still turns. So I turned it in a few rotations. I'll put this drum back on, get our wheel back on, and we should be able to drive this out of here now. Let's try it again.
Yay.
Ta-da!
You did it!
For the first time since like 2012, the Durango has left the shed. Let's give this thing a bath. Oh yeah, we got some hand scrubbing to do. Done off-white to violently white. nothing was jammed or even sanded or paint prepped, well, you don't take your car to Matco. Ever. Alright, I'm going to finish this and we'll be back. Gotta get in here with the elbow grease. Wow, there's a lot of staining in this paint. Yeah, look at it. It looks like it was a watermark, kind of, but doesn't come off. So it's probably oil on the surface or something. I don't know. I'll scrub it anyway. Alright, we got her all cleaned up. She's looking good. A few paint flaws sticking through here and there, or Mako just sprayed right over everything, but that's part of it. When you have a 1 of 212 cars, there's not a lot of complaining you can do unless you want to spend a bunch of money to fix it, which I don't. Our Ford Racing stickers are looking good down here. Ford Performance paint job is looking good. Let's get some air in these tires and put it back in the shop to fix the brakes. Alright, we've decided with the remaining hour we have until we go get the parts at O'Reilly's, we've decided to go for a little test drive and see if we need to take the front rotors off to be turned or not. Come on, Durango. Oh, it's such loose gravel. Alright, move. Alright, brake check. You ready?
Okay.
Well, the front right one works pretty good. Look at us go in our Durango. Okay.
Can we make it up that hill?
We'll find out, maybe. Not great, not gonna lie. The tires don't seem to have flat spots in them though. There's 45 mile an hour. And there's 43, 42, 40, 38. Well, Mook, I don't know. The brakes certainly aren't great. You can smell them.
Yeah.
There's rust on the rotors. They've been sitting for a while. They're not going to be awesome, but they were kind of clean, so I thought they might be okay. I don't know. I'm on the edge. As they clean up, they're getting a little better. They might be alright. We can make it up this hill?
Oh, yeah.
On the floor. 10, 15, 16, 18, 20. This is the most gutless thing I've driven in my life. You know what, Mook? While we drive this, these are cleaning up. I think that these pads and rotors are actually going to work. And these are just the fronts. We get that rear line in and get the rears working too and get those broke in, I think we'll be just fine. Let's go make it happen. Tell you what, Mook, this interior, even when it's clean, is gonna be something. Blue and white. Alright, so a couple things I just found. One, there's storage behind this. And two, there's two massive mouse nests. I already took one out and then I found this one. But holy shit. Oh my lord. That might be the biggest mouse nest I've ever seen. Alright, there we go. New fittings on. Now I can splice in a section of new line and get our soft line reinstalled and hook everything back up. Let's make it happen. Okay, new rubber line. We should be good to put some fluid in that, hook the front lines back up and let this sucker bleed, and then bleed the brakes. And then hit the road. Yeah, Mook?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, Mook. Let's see if our bleeding works. Let's see if we got some brakes. Go ahead. Oh! We got brakes.
That's brakes.
Let's go for another test drive, eh?
Yeah.
If that goes well, we're out of here finally. There we go. Go back in. Man, I hope those brakes work. Here we go. Oh, come on, Durango. This damn gravel is way too big. There goes the drum brakes.
Now the garage is full of rock.
I'm at a full lock and the tires are just sliding down. Look at the hole.
Oh.
Alright, if we make it out, we're staying out. Yep. There we go, we're free. We really put the go in Durango. Alright, Mook, hold on something. Time for a brake check. Ready? The rear brakes work. I just heard them lock up. They work better than the fronts. At least that one does. So I might go wee, but it should slow. When we get home, it'll get bigger brakes, bigger axle, bigger engine, bigger trans, bigger drive shaft. Basically everything as far as the running gear and driveline goes is getting redone to Fox body status. It's gonna be so freaking fun. I'm so excited. Here comes the Hill of Doom. Even downhill, it's the slowest thing I've ever driven. Alright, brake check. Those are gonna do just fine. Let's go back, pack up the truck, and hit the road.
And fix their driveway.
Alright, and with that, we start our 370-mile trip home. We're gonna stop in town, fill up the quote-unquote tank of gas here. A quick stop at O'Reilly's for the last couple parts, and then we are out of here. Let's do it. We will be starting our journey at 87,814 miles. We got brakes, we got shiny paint, we got a gallon and a half of gas, we got insurance. It is time to head north. All right, Durango, don't let me down. Look at the speed and power. Tell you what, it rides really nice though. Surprisingly good airflow in here as well. This thing does not have cruise control. Interesting. It has AC though. Tires don't have any flat spots. Suspension seems to work really good. This thing seriously rides really nice. Onward!
Just a slight size difference.
Oh, check it out. It's got a Thunderhead style engine tie down. All right, Mook. Should we head north?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Racing.
All right, we've had food. We've got some walkie-talkies now, so we can finally talk to each other for the first time ever on one of these trips. It's time to get some gas and head north. Let's do it. Nothing to see here, folks. Just, you know, pumping gas into the interior of my car. Everything's fine. All right, we're fueled up. We've got a reserve tank back there that's full of another 14 gallons. We've got a Mook in a truck and a GPS set to Iowa. Onward to home. I think this should be pretty uneventful. All right, let's start this trip out with some mountain carving roads in Missouri. These are the foothills, I believe. To what? I don't know. Man, this thing would be a killer with some QA1 suspension and like 200 more horsepower. Ooh, good thing I did those brakes. Woohoo! Oh no. According to the gas can, we're about 2.5, 3 inches into our trip. Everything is going swell. The Durango rides really nice. I am falling in love with this car quickly, which is good because I already loved it before we even started. Still idle is a little rough when we come to stops, but hey, it's good enough to get us home. Is that a 50 Chev under a tarp? Do tell your secrets, good sir. Oh, hello. Somebody go save that by Chesterfield or some shit. I don't even know. No idea where I am. Please hold together rickety old suspension and brakes. Oh God, we're hauling ass. We're doing 50, that's the fastest we've gone yet. This thing is fun. It's gonna be good with some suspension and maybe a new steering rack. All right, time now for Calamity. Avenue of the Saints. or as I'm about to call it, avenue of distress. I ain't got no cruise control, and I ain't got no 90 horsepower. Let's see if we can even do the speed limit. Oh, just immediate calamity. All right, 55, 57, 60. We are good for 60, maybe 65. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm gonna put the camera down because I need to get a little more used to this car before I'm comfortable in this situation. We'll be back. I'll tell you what, folks, I'm glad I fixed the brakes. It's been nothing but traffic. And I hate cities. 312 miles left. We are finally once again on the open road. Thank God. I think I don't want to say we're getting warm, but the carburetor was getting warm and it didn't like it. In other news, we got a little under 4 gallons. I'm tracking how our mileage is doing, so in another gallon, I'll let you know. How about that? All right, there we go. That's a gallon later. And that is 21 miles later. Hell yeah, we will take that. All right, well, with that being said, 63 miles from now I have to stop for gas. We'll see you then. You know, we've done a good number of these now, and you get cars hot the first time, they smell a little funny, but damn. This one just keeps coming up with the weirdest, ooh, nice camper. Sorry, the weirdest burning smells every once in a while. Like, I don't know what that one is, but it's strong. I hope we're not actually on fire. Well, accompanying that weird smell, I came to that gas station. Of all things, I've had an engine light come on. I didn't even know it could do that. So we're gonna pull over and see what the hell is going on, because something's weird.
Where do you need it?
I don't know what's going on, Mook. The engine died. I'm gonna pull up to a light. It might have been overheating bad. It's probably what the engine light was. It's probably a temp light. Man, it smells warm under here. It stinks. I don't. That's good for you. That smells like it's good for you. Our coolant overflow is still full, so we didn't necessarily run out of coolant. Whew. Yeah, she got a little warm there, eh?
Oh, that stinks.
I don't know what the steam is coming from. It was all up front.
Yeah.
I'd hate to crack the block, but I'd hate more so to burn the whole car to the ground. So this is damage control at this point.
Oh, that smells so bad.
Yeah, it is. It's not a happy motor for some reason. Well, how far do we make it? 5 gallons? Well, let's see if we can get this to cool down and continue on, or if this is the end of the journey for this thing. Oh man.
It's smoky everywhere.
Alright, let's see if we can get it to that Walmart. Ooh, look at the blow-by. What the hell happened to this motor? It showed no signs, it just went, I'm happy, I want to be dead yesterday. Alright, Walmart is yay far away, that's our goal. Onward.
Over there.
Oh man, this thing is way down on power and making all sorts of noises suddenly. What the hell happened? It went so fast. It went from perfect for 100 miles to suddenly in 3 minutes it went super nuclear and the quote-unquote temp light turned on. That's the only light it has. So I don't have a temp gauge or anything. I guess I should have put one on, but I figured, oh hell, this 200 won't even make any temp. Boy, was I wrong. All right, this way, question mark? Oh, I don't know if the thermostat got stuck suddenly or what, but yeah, we're gonna pull in the Walmart here and see if we can find a shady spot to park and figure this out.
Wait, that's not hot?
I mean, that is. This should usually be like, you know, about to blow my arms out of the stratosphere. Hello? It's half empty. I don't know what's up with that. We filled that before we left. This thing is, she might be cooked. Just throwing that out there. She's not happy, that's for sure. I dumped a singular bottle of water in and it became upset about it. Paint, mate.
Hey, we just washed that.
A bunch of rust and shit came out.
We're just flushing the radiator.
What is this, Old Faithful? Yeah.
She's angry.
Oh. Do we have a hole? We might have a hole.
Oh, I see a drip.
I see steam coming from the bottom. That's not where you want steam coming from. We must have a hole in the radiator and it got low and I didn't know. That's weird that you put water in it and then it gets pressurized. Thermostat housing or the water pump? Yeah, it's the back of the water pump pulley.
You hate to see it.
I wonder if our water pump took a shit. That I never thought of. I'm gonna go on a limb and say no one in 300 miles with a water pump for 200 inline Ford.
I don't know. We're within 300 miles of Ames, Iowa, and that O'Reilly's always pulls through.
Yeah, maybe they can deliver for us.
Yeah.
On the way back, take us home. Let's go buy some water. So the biggest thing that's concerning me right now is the fact that once that steam gets out of wherever it's getting out of, there's no more pressure in the system, which means there is a hole somewhere.
Ooh.
Oh, she's angry. I like your water hitting the ground. Woo!
Yeah. Oh.
It's warm. Is it coming out of the water pump? Oh. Oh, it is pissing out of the back of the water pump. So here's my theory. We're driving along just fine, just like we were. At 100 miles down the road, water pump says, you know what? I'm like 40-something years old now. I think I'm done. The seal on the back of the water pump takes a crap. All the water runs out. That's when I started smelling, was hot coolant. And then the next thing you know, we are beyond nuclear temperatures on the side of the road, out of coolant.
Leaking, rusty, oily water.
Now usually that's something we can just fix with a water pump, right? But the only O'Reillys around here can't get a water pump for 3 days. And we're already on day 3 of a 1-day trip. So, just right onto the ground.
It fogged up my lens.
Well, like we said in the beginning, in 1978, Chevrolet downsized the El Camino. And in 1979, Ford completely nixed their line of Rancheros. And now, I think we know why. It is day 3 of what was supposed to be a 1 or 2 day trip. We're tired, the car's tired, and it's time to go home. So with that being said, we're gonna call it quits right here, throw this car in a U-Haul trailer, and head back to Iowa. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. There will be plenty more to come with the Durango and all the plans we have for it. So make sure you subscribe to see those. If you enjoyed the episode, leave a like and a comment below. We'll see you right here next time on Junkyard Digs. Peace.